gave his nightly address, saying economy and security must always go hand in hand, and the details of the agreements matter. Zelensky also laid out what he expects in return, calling for a reliable and clear system of security guarantees that ensure long-term protection from Russia. American and Ukrainian officials tell NBC News the Trump administration presented Zelensky with the proposed mineral deal last week, giving him an hour to sign it. Zelensky refused, saying it didn't make security guarantees explicit. He was told Trump would be angry. And President Trump did respond angrily, falsely accusing Zelensky of being a dictator, and now making it clear he wants that deal signed.
You resurrect that deal? Is there anything that you can do?
I think I'm going to resurrect it. You know, we'll see what happens, but I'm going to resurrect it, or things are not going to make him too happy.
In Ukraine this morning, at a rehabilitation center for soldiers just back from the front lines, some say they feel like they're being squeezed by the United States. But Sergeant Volodymyr Chaika doesn't oppose the deal in principle after what he's seen in combat over the last 3 years. Some critics have said that President Trump is exploiting Ukraine, is taking advantage of its position right now in order to extract resources. You, as someone who's fought for this country so much, what do you think about that? Between two evils, you have to pick the better one, he says. If I have to choose between the United States and the possibility that Russia will take over our country, I pick the United States. The Trump administration, Willie, is also declining to endorse an international proposal that would specifically name Russia as the aggressor in this conflict. Back to you.
Richard Engel on the ground in Ukraine. Richard, thanks so much.
Now to a major shakeup on Capitol Hill. Longtime Republican power broker Mitch McConnell, who spent more than 4 decades in the Senate, announcing on his 83rd birthday that he will not seek re-election. NBC's Garrett Hake has the details and the reaction. Garrett, good morning.
Hey, Laura, good morning to you. And look, McConnell has had some health scares recently, and last year he voluntarily gave up his Senate leadership post after an unprecedented 18 years as the top Senate Republican. So this announcement wasn't exactly a surprise, but after a career spent reshaping the federal courts and deftly wielding power here in Washington, his departure will mark a major pivot point for the GOP, away from an older style of conservatism and toward Donald Trump's. A changing of the guard for the GOP, with former Senate Republican leader Mitch McConnell announcing his retirement next year after representing Kentucky for 7 terms.
Representing our Commonwealth has been the honor of a lifetime. I will not seek this honor an 8th time.
McConnell says his faith in the Senate has not wavered. His speech drawing a rare round of applause on the Senate floor. McConnell's colleagues praising his leadership.
He's been a great American patriot and lawmaker.
The guy is, he's tough as a boot.
The 83-year-old McConnell has experienced a series of falls in recent months and 2 public freezing episodes in 2023, leaving him briefly unable to speak. In 2016, he stonewalled President Obama's nomination of Merrick Garland to the Supreme Court, ultimately allowing President Trump to fill that vacancy, then ensuring the confirmation of 2 more conservative justices. But his alliance with President Trump was shattered on January 6th. McConnell blamed the president for the attack on the Capitol, even though he later voted to acquit him in his second impeachment.
President Trump is practically and morally responsible for provoking the events of the day.
Recently on 60 Minutes, McConnell was asked about comments he made privately disparaging the president, reported in a new biography.
You said he's nasty. You said he's not very smart. You said he's a sleazeball.
Well, those were private comments, and
Well, but they're in your biography.
yeah.
Out of leadership, but still a senator, McConnell has increasingly defied the president, voting against 3 of his cabinet picks, including HHS Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. over his vaccine skepticism. McConnell, of course, survived a battle with childhood polio and has long been a vaccine advocate. He's spent much of the last year criticizing Russia and fighting for funding for Ukraine, another stress point with the modern GOP. His retirement will set up a competitive primary next year for a coveted open Senate seat. Laura?
All right, Garrett Hake, thank you.
A lot more to get to this morning, including the latest on the brazen murder of a top healthcare CEO right here in New York, accused